Hey everyone, welcome to this special edition of the In Conversation with Michael Newton Institute. So my name is James Guiry. I'm proud to be member and practitioner with M&I. Joining us today is Ricardo Moniz, one of our career partners at M&I. Ricardo played an important role in my own training to become an LBL therapist. He's a gifted hypnotherapist, past life regressionist. He's a practitioner based in Mexico. He's known for his depth, his compassion, his dedication to helping others awaken to their soul's purpose. So it's an honor to have you here, sir. Thanks for joining us, Ricardo. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for the invitation. The honor is mine, and I
Yeah.
really happy to speak with everyone that can be joined to this.
I love it. Yeah, so let's kind of jump into it. So can you share with us your role as an LBL therapist and as a spiritual consciousness facilitator? What does that mean for you in practice for, say, the people you work with and yourself? What does that mean for you?
For me, it's interesting. I need to go back a little bit because I am an electronic engineer. All my life, since 12, 13 years ago, I do only technical things, technological things. And around 14 years ago, I read the Michael book on Newton book. And as I say,
Yeah.
that book hypnotized people because when I read that book, I said, I'm going to do this the rest of my life. And it takes me a while to find the therapist first for having a session, then find the teachers for the training of hypnotherapy and regression. And after 5 years, I finally get the certificate from Michael Newton Institute. And after that, I decide to stop doing engineering things and go only for this job. And let me tell you, my career, my profession really lacks all the time that I did, but I never feel the passion that I feel doing this. I am 70 years old, and I start doing this only at 65 years old. And many people say at 65 you need to retire and do nothing. And
Right.
for me, has been maybe the most happiness, passionate time, very busy. My wife said, my wife think that when I stop doing engineering, I'm gonna have more time to be here in the house. No, I am
Yeah.
normally totally busy, but it's because the passion. Because doing this is a really nice experience. You see how the clients really helps. They come struggle for things, and several
Yeah.
months or years, they say this session can change my life or change my life. So it's amazing. The job we do is really very different in the way that we go to help the person because it's one by one. But that's the reason we need to be more. We need to be more therapists in the world.
Yeah, I love that. And all interesting too that you came from like an analytical engineering background, right? And then you
Totally.
switched over into this spiritual background. I think that gives you a lot of perspective, with the logical mind and the intuitive mind. I think that's a key component for someone that's doing this work, not to be too, you might find someone that's too spiritual. Nothing wrong with being too spiritual. But I think if you get too caught up in it and if you don't have some kind of grounding, it gives you that foundation. So that's why I love one training with you. You help me ground myself, but you're also providing a balanced approach, and you have that passion that it fuels you. So like retiring feels like I got to retire from life, but doing this, I feel like I'm going to do this till the day I die. As long as I can do this, I want to do this work. So I love that. Thanks for sharing that. So for you, so the future, right? So obviously for the future of this work, how do you see the future of, say, spiritual consciousness unfolding and maybe your role with that as it unfolds in your lifespan? How do you feel like that's going to play out over the next few years or so?
I have the sensation this is just the beginning of this work. We are still very few, and many people doesn't even know that they can have information from their own spirit in a session. Many people doesn't even know. At least in Latin America, which is my main market, where really
Yeah.
there is a lot of delay from other parts of the world. So the
Yeah.
need is big, but no everybody knows that this is a opportunity to really change the lives. So the future is there is no limit because we need to be many more therapists, and it's going to be like a snowball that is going to be growing in the way that we can talk about this, give more
Yeah.
therapies. Most of my clients come from mouth to mouth with recommendation. It's the way that it's going to
Nice.
grow. And by the other side, the world is really awakening more than before, or more faster than before. Mo- many people, young people, they almost born awake and they understand about many things that in my times we never speak about these things. So
Yeah.
the world is ready for us, but we need to be more. So it's a combination, but the limit is totally, the sky is the limit.
Yeah.
am not
Yeah.
I am not, I never have thought that when I going to stop doing this because I am just starting 20 years more. I don't know if I have the energy, but maybe I have, maybe not,
Right.
not so, yeah, but
Yeah, I think this work. I think this work can expand. I think we're just, we're just kind of just starting this. And I think you mentioned Latin America, right? With a lot of people doing this, there's a lot of heavy religion in Latin America. My family's from Latin America, and I think there's a balance between the religion and this kind of can segue into this spiritual practice without necessarily having a lot of the dogma of religion, right, attached to it. And it gives people a better perspective with whatever they believe in. This isn't about a religion. This work we're doing isn't religion. It's just a spiritual practice. And it's a different way. It's almost like the original way to connect with spirit, where instead of having the priest tell you what to do,
yeah.
nowadays it feels like with this work is we can connect with God or the higher self or the universe or whatever you want to call it. And I think you're providing that, and that's amazing. I love it. So for you, for students, right? So say a student, what would they say gaining? I know I gained a lot from you, but in your own words, what would you say a student would gain by working with you with MNI and going through their training with LB?
Well, as you know, the training is totally different now than before. The training is a 9 months process with a lab coach, which is a guy, a therapist that is going to be with you all the way. So it's much more easier, but it's maybe much work than before. The therapists now get much experience before they have the certificate. So this is amazing. I am working a lot to be an LBL trainer in Spanish. Maybe 2027 we can have the first Spanish LBL training, because many I have been doing the regression training for several years. I have several people that is ready to go for the LBL, but they don't speak English, and it's a break in their process. So they are waiting that someone can give a training in Spanish. And I think maybe in 2 years more we could be ready for doing, because it's not only that that I can do it. We need lab coach that speaks Spanish, supervisors that speak Spanish for this. It's a team work. So
Yeah.
for if the people start at this moment doing this job in regression and in hypnotherapy, or because the people say I want to be LBL therapist, but first you need to be hypnotherapist, and then you need to be regressionist, and you need to practice 1 or 2 years. So this is exactly the time to start, when we are ready to give trainings in Mandarin or in German or in Spanish. They could be ready 2 years from now. So
Exactly.
I think it's a very good opportunity to start. There is more, each time there are more schools. Maybe you have heard about this plan or the people have heard about the career partners.
Hmm.
6 months ago, we were only 5 schools in all the world doing this job that allied with the NI, and now there are 18. So the opportunities
Yeah.
to be training in hypnosis and therapy closer to the NI with the same philosophy and kind of energy
Hmm.
has changed a lot in this year. So I think this is a real possibility to get much more therapies. In my time, when I want to get a training for hypnotherapy, it was not easy. Now it's much more easy. So
Yeah.
if the people have doubt, I say go ahead. You are not going to regret. This is a job to be to
I love
feel.
that. And I was going to ask you a question about your vision of your mission, but it seems like that's the vision, right? Is for you to take this to Latin America, to be able to expand it to, to different languages, right? And that's a great mission right there, right? That's also a student impact, but a great overall mission, and that's a legacy you could create, right? Imagine you bringing that to Latin America, and you're the one that's been known to do that. That's a great legacy to leave, and contribute to this kind of practice. So I love that. I honor what you're doing. That's amazing.
And let me speak. Let me speak a little bit about MNI. Was 3 years ago. I have the thought that you need to grow the Spanish piece in the institute, and they invite me to be part of the advisory council to represent the Spanish people. So that is not only my mission; is the really the one of the goals of the MNI, grow the Spanish speaking therapists in the world, not only Latin America, Spain or wherever
Yeah.
they were.
Yeah, you're
So
right. Yeah.
it's the right moment. Everybody is interested in have more Spanish people doing this job. So
Yeah, and I
I'm
think
glad to
this
be
is
here.
unique about yeah, with M&I like how it's a global community. It's not just based in, United States or whatever. It feels like it's a global impact, and that's what I love, that there's a bigger reach,
Yeah.
that the world is looking for this and that we're ready to help the world, pretty much, which is amazing. So I guess my last question here for you is, for a new student, right? This is something where I knew when I first started out, was really just kind of winging it, trying to read a couple books and try to look up and try to figure out how to do this work. As a new student starting out, what would you recommend that they would do different? What would you do differently, I guess, if you were starting out new in this work?
Well, first of all, get a good school for hypnotherapy and regression because it's the basics. If you
Hmm.
go to a school that is not aligned with this, you're gonna lose months of your work because when you try to be a therapist on LDL, MNI is gonna say you don't really have the skills you have to. So the first thing is choose a good school. Choose a school that has the same energy and the same philosophy than MNI. There are a lot, like I say, now there are 18 schools in all the world. So that's
Yeah.
very important. And after that, really practice, practice, practice is the only way. If you come to the LBL training without the basic and without the practice, you're going to be struggling in all the training. And after that, you're going to don't feel secure about doing this job. But if you do a practice 1 or 2 years doing regression, doing hypnotherapy, it's going to be really easy to now get the new knowledge to do the LBL session. So the basic is the fundamentals is the basic that you have. So take care about that. Really don't
Don't skip
hesitate to
on
go
that.
to a
Yeah.
good school and then
Yeah, I agree.
practice, practice, practice until you have the good skills to come to LBL for a training. That's the process.
100%. There's some really good there's some great training with M&I. There's, schools that we're doing right now, and I recommend that highly, is because if you don't have that foundation just in interpersonal skills and hypnosis in general, hypnosis is key, but it's also, how to work with people, how to work with people's problems. Not to say you have to be a therapist, but you have to be able to work on yourself. And I think I mentioned this. I was talking to Mark Johnson the other day, mentioned about doing your own session, getting your own session done, doing it a couple times with different practitioners, practicing it on yourself, understanding a little bit how it works before you go into this work. You want to know how it works. That just better prepares you, right? To recommend definitely doing your own work for sure.
Yeah. And the trainings of these schools have that in mind. You need to
Exactly.
work on yourself during the training.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, the past life training, someone says you're going to get that one-on-one with your students as well, or with the classroom and the teachers. So that's the best part about it. And then also still being being a student, right? Just
Yeah.
keep learning. If you really want to do this work, you're going to keep learning. You'll read the books. You'll find the knowledge. You'll be like the Buddha said, being the curious child, right? Be interested in all the new knowledge out there. So lastly, one, appreciate you coming on here really quick for us. How would someone reach out to you? How does someone reach out to you if I want to do a session with you or reach out to you? How would I reach out to you?
The easiest way is using WhatsApp with my phone number.
Perfect.
Do I give them the number, James?
We'll make sure we'll put it on the
Okay,
link
you
below,
you share
and then
that.
also on the
In the
Newton
Newton
website we can
Institute, there
reach
is a
you.
link. If the Newton Institute,
Yes.
there is a link that Spanish speaking therapists, you're going to find
Yep.
several. And the
Yeah.
other way is
You just go to.
I have my website that is very complete, a lot of information, not as good as yours, but the people can find a lot of how about each of the techniques, the objective you get, the
Yeah.
process, many things. I really dedicate a lot in my website, but many people start from the website or other and then WhatsApp. I am very easy to find. Very easy.
Yeah.
Instagram,
Well, I
Facebook.
highly recommend Ricardo for sure. He's an amazing teacher. He's an amazing person, and it's been a pleasure training with you and also having you on. Ricardo, thank you for joining us. Thanks for being open and sharing your wisdom. I'm wishing the best of luck to you, my friend, for
Thank you,
sure.
James. Thank you, everybody.
All right.
Let's come
You're
on to
welcome.
be a therapist.
Yes. Join MNI. I love it. All right. Thank you, Ricardo. Appreciate it.
Thank you.